Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Okay, first of all, I got a tip from several of y'all about the way you couldn't read my little sign back here because everything was flipped backwards. So I'm trying something new. There's a feature in Facebook Live where you can flip, instead of mirroring what you're doing, it flips it so you guys can see all the words behind me. My little sign is now reading correctly, but here's the problem. I'm not used to this at all, so I just went this way thinking, okay, so I'm gonna get really confused. I go left and it looks like my right hand pops up, so it's really weird. But anyways, hopefully now you guys are happy. You guys can see my sign correctly. It's just gonna take a little bit of me getting used to talking because everything's backwards and I feel like I look different. So anyways, welcome to Bless This Nest. If you are stumbling upon this Facebook Live for the very first time, I'm Mariana Pearson. I own Modern Nest Real Estate Group, the page you're following. We are a real estate team out of DFW, Texas. Personally, I think the best area, but we are here and we help people with buying and selling homes. And so I started this Bless This Nest series a few months ago. When the pandemic happened, everything, I figured now is a great time for me to start doing some live videos more often, to where I'm giving you guys as much just information and knowledge and education on buying and selling a home as much as possible. So I've come up with a few good, I think good topics for the next couple months to go over with you guys. And if you ever want to go back, I do have all my videos still recorded and saved. So the month of, month of May, we did a first-time homebuyer boot camp series. So if you're a first-time homebuyer, you can always go back and watch all those videos. And then for the month of June, last month, we did a home seller boot camp series. So you can always go back and watch those as well. Today's topic is a little bit different. It's a home seller tip, so you can see my little sign now finally. So we will be talking about a tip that I feel like is pretty important to be talking about, especially right now. But first of all, it's July, guys. We are halfway through 2020, which is crazy. We survived this crazy year so far, and I'm excited but also nervous to see what's in store for the rest of 2020, the second half of this year. Hopefully, we are all in the upswing with everything and all the craziness going on. So hopefully, to God, that we are definitely going to see some good things for the second half of this year. So, and this weekend is 4th of July. So I know a lot of things are closed down this weekend, but hopefully you guys are still going to be able to go out and watch some fireworks. We'll be posting some places inside DFW here soon where you guys can go and watch fireworks, because I know some places did close down, unfortunately, but there are still a lot of places that are doing the fireworks. So we'll be posting some stuff here in the next couple days so you guys can find out where you can watch those fireworks at. So stay tuned for that. But really quick, let's get started and talking about the market right now. So we all know that we're in a pandemic, or the pandemic that started a couple months ago was kind of one of those things that really shook us all. At that time, our stocks kind of took a tank, right? They went down. And so for us in the real estate world, we were kind of like, well, we got to see how our market is going to be affected by this. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Bailey. I see you guys are on here. So we kind of, in the first several weeks, we did see that there was a little bit of a slowdown in the sense that we weren't able to do like showings and things like that, of course, just because we were in quarantine. But what we've seen since then has not been abnormal, because we're coming out of a market that's very similar to this. But it was one of those things that we were like, well, let's just wait and see kind of what's going to happen. This could completely change everything with the real estate market. But unfortunately, we are still in a great market. So, hi there, Michelle. I fixed the sign. Do you see? See, now I'm backwards and I don't know which way to point, but I fixed it. I went ahead and flipped it for you and others that have made the comment, and so that way you guys can see it. So I got to get used to going back and forth, or when I look one way on the camera, I'm looking the other way. So I'll get used to it. But what we are seeing since then is our rates are still at historic lows. They actually dropped super low at one point which was just kind of crazy. And since then they've gone up slightly, but they're still at historic lows. So what that means is our buyers have more buying power or opportunity for them to be purchasing homes, which in return means that there are that sellers can now be selling their home to these buyers who are able to take advantage of those low interest rates. Now, I will preface all of this with, of course, I'm in DFW, so that's how the market is in DFW, at least for right now. We are relatively in more of what we call a seller's market because with the low interest rates, more buyers have shown up. But inventory hasn't quite caught up to the number of buyers that we have. So what we look at is how many months in inventory that we have in order to satisfy the amount of buyers that we have looking for homes. So right now we say inventory is low, but even though there's still houses and things like that that are sitting on the market, but for the number of buyers that we have looking, it's low. So we are relatively, thanks Michelle, we are still in a seller's market. So I just want to preface that because today's topic is super important that you know that when we are in a seller's market, there are some things, that a seller really needs to pay attention to if their home is not selling. So ultimately, we are in a seller's market. So you probably are seeing right now, if you guys are thinking about selling or you're in the process of selling, you're probably paying attention more to the market, right? You're probably seeing that some of the sellers are getting what we call over asking offers. So they're getting multiple offers on their home, which then turns into multiple or over asking offers. So more than what they have for a list price. So you are seeing that still right now. We're seeing multiple offers. When I go with my buyers, we're writing up pretty aggressive offers to try and win the offer if we're in a multiple offer situation. But you are still seeing that there are some that are still selling, that are still sitting on the market. So if you are one of those houses that are still sitting on the market or you're thinking about selling in the next couple months, here is some awesome information that you guys need to know in order to help prepare you guys for this market, because we are in a seller's market, which means that you should be able to take advantage of this time to sell your home. So let's see. The first thing though I want to talk about is what we as real estate agents look for when we are either pricing a home or when we're talking to our sellers when it comes to, if we're having to, when we do our comps and we say, okay, here's what we think the home value is. And at that point, our sellers are trying to maybe argue that their home is actually worth more than that. There are three things that we really look at when we are determining not only your home value, but where we think that your home would actually sell for. So the first thing is location of your home. This is something that we cannot change. We can't pick up your house and move it to a different location. So the location does determine ultimately the price of your home. The second thing that determines the price of your home is the condition. So do you need new carpets? Do you need some repairs to be done? Is the roof new? Things like that that can affect or that will determine the price of your home. Now, again, this is kind of ultimately up to the sellers. We do have that discussion if I do think there are things that need to be updated or repairs that need to be done. I try to make sure that they are willing to do that, but we also want to make sure that they're going to either get their money back or that it is to their advantage to do that. I would never, for example, suggest that that a seller change out their carpet to like pink carpet, right? We don't want to make those kind of changes. But if you do have pink carpet, I may say, hey, let's change this carpet to a more neutral carpet. That is something where you will see a return on your value. So again, condition is another aspect to what determines your home selling. The third thing is price. So we've got location, condition, and price. Price is something that we, of course, can change. So we want to focus heavily on price if it comes to the fact that we can't change your location. And the condition, let's just assume, is great, and there's nothing that we see as real estate agents that we need to change. So the very first reason, by the way, today's topic is why your home is not selling in a seller's market, or why you're not getting over asking price in a seller's market. So now that you know that, reason number one for why you're not getting over asking on your home is the price is simply just not right. So I know that maybe you don't want to hear that, or you don't want that to be true, but the home price is one of the top reasons why most of our homes sit on the market. So again, we talked about location and location and condition, assuming those are good. The next thing that we need to focus on is price. So the ultimate deciding factor when it comes to the value of your home isn't necessarily what you want for your home. I know that most sellers, they have a certain net amount that they want to make, or they have a list of all the things that they've done to the home, you know, how much money they spent on it. But the ultimate deciding factor of what your home is worth is what a buyer is willing to pay for that home. So when we run our comps, we focus on the sold properties in your neighborhood, of course, because then that gives us true value to know what your price is or what your home is actually worth, what price is good for your home. So again, many sellers have the mindset where they want to price it to their needs. Sometimes I see where sellers are like, I want to price it at the high end. But one of the things I want to point out to you guys is when you do price it at the high end, which of course determining your condition and everything else may not be the best idea, but by pricing it on the high end, this can actually backfire on you. Because one of the things that we know as real estate agents and what we see is the longer that your home sits on the market, the lower you do get in offers or pricing or price values on those offers. So another thing to keep in mind is you're also missing out on a pool of people who could easily afford your home. So example, if you know that your home, or I tell you your home is worth $350 and $350 is the value that you want to get on your home, but you say to me, hey, but I want to go ahead and list the home for $360 just so we have some wiggle room here. What you're doing by increasing that amount just by the $10,000 is you're missing out on a whole pool of people who may be looking up to $350,000. So most of the time our sellers or our buyers are looking generally in increments of either like $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000. So what I mean by that is if we were to list your home at the $360, even though we know you want $350 and $350 is the price, I'm going to suggest that we still list at $350 because you're opening it up to not only more buyers, because generally people are looking, you know, $300 to $350 or $350 to $400. So you now have more buyers in that pool that would be interested in your home. But we could be opening up to a multiple offer situation, which in return means that you probably will get over asking on the home. So that is the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about when it comes to why your home isn't selling in a seller's market is price. Another thing I always want to consider is if you've had a lot of showings on your home and you haven't had any offers, then clearly our price is off. And at that point, we need to talk about a price reduction. So my rule of thumb is if we have had the market, or we've had the home on the market for 10 days and we've had no showings, or we've had 10 showings and no offers, at that point we would talk about a price reduction. So again, guys, the first reason why your home isn't selling in a seller's market for over asking is the price. So that's probably the easiest one. I wouldn't say easiest, maybe that's not the right word. That's the most common reason on why someone's home isn't selling in a seller's market is price. So again, if we backtrack, location, we can't change the location of your house. Condition, there probably are, sometimes there are ways that we can update the condition again. Flooring, paint, if we need to do things like that to help your home sell in a seller's market, those are things that we'll suggest to you guys. But assuming that the condition is great and we can't change the location, the next thing we have to focus on is the price. All right, so reason number 2, isn't this exciting? This stuff excites me for real. It really does. Like I love the stats. I love, kind of the challenge that comes to when it comes to selling a home and why it's not selling, like us reevaluating, why the home isn't selling. If it's something, in feedback that we keep getting from showings that maybe we need to change, or again, the price, all the comps, all that kind of stuff. Like I love it. So reason number 2 on why your home isn't selling in a seller's market is your home doesn't look the best that it can online. So 98% of buyers start their home online. So when they're looking for a home, they go online to look at homes before they even see your home. So before they even step foot in the door, they're looking at photos, they're determining if it's even a home worth their time to take a look at, right? So we want to make sure that your online presence is truly capturing your home and showing it and highlighting it in the best way possible. So for us, professional photography is one of those things that it is non-negotiable. Like, I get professional photography for all of my homes. I'm not to dog, or I'm not trying to dog on other agents that don't do professional photography, but it really baffles me when I see some houses, and I'm talking like 500, 600, sometimes $1 million homes, that they are iPhone photos clearly, or they were taken by some sort of, point and shoot camera, and you know that they weren't professionally done. Of course, like with investment homes and things like that, that might be a little bit different. I actually, with investment properties that really need some work, and it's one of those things I try to even tell my professional photographer, like, hey, like, I don't want you to do any editing or anything like that, because we need to be able to show the home in true light. But if it's a great home and not an investment home or anything like that, professional photography is one of those things that I think is a non-negotiable when it comes to selling your home. So the biggest thing, like for here, for this, obviously you as buyers have probably seen that before, but if you're looking at a house online through the photos, you're not getting that warm, fuzzy feeling like I could picture myself here when the photos are dark and they just look unprofessional. And sadly, the home could be gorgeous. The home could have great features. The home could fit everything that buyer's looking for. But because they're not getting that excited feeling when they see this home, all of a sudden their feelings for wanting to go see that home have gone away. And so it's so important that you are focusing on this. And it's so important also, as soon as we go live, as soon as I get the photos, my sellers are seeing those photos. I want them to know, and they're just as invested as me, right? I mean, this is their home that I'm selling. So they are getting a copy of all those photos. They're seeing the online presence that their home has. So if you are selling your home, ask the listing agent for those photos if they're not sending them to you. And if they are saying that they're going out there to take their own photos, you might question if you should be working with that agent. I'm sorry, but I feel like an agent probably watching me that's like, I do my, professional photos. And hey, that's on, if you guys are able to sell without professional photos, great. But I just think it's a non-negotiable, because again, we know that 98% of buyers start their home online. So we have to have a great online presence, and that starts with the photos. It starts there. I can't change, the layout of your home. I can't change the fact that you don't want to paint your home, even though I've told you that it could add more value. But one of the things I can do is make sure that we're highlighting the home in its best light. And by doing that, getting a professional photographer out to take those photos and brighten the photos up, that's what we need. So anyways, that's my tangent on, or my little rant on professional photography. But also knowing that before professional photography, or a professional photographer will sometimes do these things, you need to be doing things like removing anything that may be in the way, such as the garbage cans. If you have a straightener out on the bathroom counter or something like that, those things need to be picked up and put away. And I actually have a full checklist that I send to my sellers that before a professional photographer comes out, that they do, in order to make sure that those things aren't a distraction for buyers when they're looking at your home online. So your online presence, again, is what we're talking about. So super important that you are showing the home in its best light and putting away anything that can be a distraction for those buyers. And the last thing when it comes to your online presence is checking your online views. So every real estate agent should have access to be able to see your online views and to see what activity you're getting from your listing. So on sites such as Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, all that, we can track the number of views that your home is getting on those sites. So make sure that you're requesting from your agent, or if you're one of my clients, you get that update while we're listed. So once a week, I will send you your online activity. And again, if you're getting a lot of online activity, but you're not getting any showings, clearly something's going on with your online presence. And again, that starts with your photos. And the second thing, like we've already talked about, could be the price. So making sure that you're paying attention to that activity is super important, and asking that your agent to send you those stats to kind of determine if your home maybe isn't showing as well as others online. So that is reason number 2 why your home isn't selling in a seller's market. Number 1, just to recap, was your price. Number 2 was your online presence. And number 3, this is our final reason for why your home isn't getting over asking or selling in a seller's market, is you haven't prepped your home for when you have showings. So if you have, we're following along in the seller bootcamp. Last week's video, I went into full detail about this. So I'm not going to go into all the details again on what you could be doing to prep your home before you have a showing, but go back to last week's video and take a look at that. I also gave away a little freebie checklist that I have that is going to break down everything that you need to do right before a showing or before you leave that morning before for work, and you might get a showing while you're gone. So doing those things to prep and really, like I talked about last week, setting that, what is that word? Setting the ambiance, setting the, the feeling. So when they walk in, turning on the lights, all the lights are on, fans are moving, things like that. They really get an idea of what their life is going to be like if they purchased your home. So just wanted to point out some of those things. And then also pointing out any features that your buyer may not know about. So this is something that hopefully your agent is helping you with. And one of the examples I have here is I had a listing. It was so cool. You walked into the bedroom, and of course there was a closet. There was a closet door, so you opened that closet, and there was just a typical closet for a bedroom. And inside that closet was another door that when you opened it, it opened up to this huge, long, storage closet, which was perfect for Christmas decor and all those other things that you don't need all the time. But it was this huge storage closet. And so what we did to make sure that buyers knew when they were walking through the home to, hey, make sure you open this door and check out this amazing storage closet, is that we put little signs. They're cute little sayings sometimes it's just hey, check out the extended closet inside this closet. So we put up little notes all around the house to make sure that the buyers knew about these really cool features. So little things that you can do like that, again, just to make sure that their showing experience is the best possible. So I've got a lot of feedback on that from other agents when we do stuff like that, and I always want to highlight whatever things that they may not know about the property. The other thing is it's just making a list of some things that you know. So I always ask for my home sellers to give me the updates that they did in the last 5 years. So the granite countertops, did you update those in the last 5 years? Did you redo the roof? Did you, anything that you've done in the last 5 years? Creating a list for that and having that out for buyers as they're walking through the home, so they can just go through my little, we call it a little, what is it, a listing, oh my gosh, what do we call it? Just a listing folder. I have a folder that has everything, the survey, the seller's disclosure, everything is there. So while they're showing the home, they have the best buying experience. So again, that was reason number 3, is prepping the home for when you have showings. So making the beds, doing the dishes, turning on the lights. Again, I went over all this last week's video, and if you guys want me to just send you the checklist that we had, oh, sorry, my internet went in and out. I gotta remember to turn my internet off because I don't know what's going on with it. But if you guys just want that checklist that I put together that breaks down everything you need to do before you have a showing, drop an emoji in the comments, right? Or send me a direct message and I will send you that list. Happy to send that because I think it covers everything. It covers everything that you need to do. And then there's some bonus ideas that most people don't think about. Like I brought it up last week that if you've got a theater room, pop some popcorn really quick before the showing. Or something like that. Just again, creating the best experience for those buyers when they're walking through the home. All right, so let's recap. For today's topic was the 3 reasons why your home is not getting over asking in a seller's market, or why your home isn't selling in a seller's market. Number 1 was price. Your price just isn't right. Number 2, you don't look good online. So just making sure your online presence looks great. And number 3, you haven't prepped for your showings. So preparing your everything that you need to do to prepare for when a buyer is walking through your home to see it. So hopefully those 3 tips help you guys in this market. Again, we are still in a seller's market right now, but buyers have a great opportunity to take advantage of some low interest rates. So We think, we know that the market's really good right now. So if you guys are interested in buying or selling in the next few months, let us know. I'm happy to sit down with you guys one-on-one, of course, and talk more specifically about your home. These are these videos that I'm doing, the Bless This Nest videos, are really generic and just kind of, I'm trying to make them specific topics, so not very generic, but specific topics, specific topics, wow, specific topics, so that way you guys are getting, again, as much information as you can when it comes to buying or selling a home, because that's what I want to do for you guys, is just make sure you guys are educated as much as possible. And also, guys, if you guys have any topic ideas, anything that you want to know or hear when it comes to buying or selling or real estate just in general, like if you want me to talk about my day-to-day life and what it is like to be a real estate agent, because I know I have so many people reach out saying they want to become a real estate agent and ask me what it's like, and I probably scare them sometimes more than others, but no, but I'll tell you guys. So just let me know what topics you guys want to hear about. You can send me those in your messages. I do have some fun topics for this month lined up, so I'm super excited to share those with you guys. But if you guys need anything else from me, please feel free to reach out, and hope you guys have an awesome and safe 4th of July. And I will see you guys next Thursday. So every Thursday at 11 a.m. I'll be here. All right, guys, have an awesome weekend.